Do you want to give me your name?
Reverend J. Mitchell.
And is it okay if I put this on YouTube? Okay. So go ahead. So what are, here, I'm going to get down so it's easier for me to hold this. So what is your, so explain to me what your goal is here, or what your agenda is.
My goal is to bring attention to the disparity in the income of the 99%, of the average person.
Okay.
The minimum wage in 1975 was $2.50 an hour.
Okay.
Okay? Today it's $7.50 an hour. Now think about that for a second. The rent goes up 6 to 7% every year. Groceries go up. The cost of oil and fuel goes up. The cost of clothing goes up. The minimum wage has not kept pace with any of that.
Well, can I ask you a personal? Are you involved? You're a reverend. Are you involved here in New York? Do you live here in New York?
Yes, I do.
So are you involved in a particular church, or?
I'm retired now.
Okay.
I'm retired now. I still do chaplaincy. I still do drug and alcohol ministry, prison ministry.
Okay.
But I'm retired from the pulpit, and I'm retired from hospital chaplaincy. I still do some things.
So you work with youth and sort of rehabilitation issues? I
work with youth. I work with battered and abused women. Occasionally, I'll do some ministries with people who are either finished with their prison duties or people who are on parole.
Okay. Yeah, I'm from Colorado, so I have a good friend who does.
I have a sister in Colorado.
Oh, she's big on prison rehabilitation programs, drug rehab. So on the minimum wage, the counter argument is that what makes living income increases possible is just better productivity. In other words, a growing economy.
That's extremely true. But look at the economy. The income of people making over $300,000 a year has gone up over 275% in the past 20 years. Okay? Now, if you're going to point to how the economy so-calledly tanked the last 4 years, oh, I can't argue with that. But the bottom line is, for all the years the economy was making money, the minimum wage did nothing. Things kept getting more and more and more expensive at the things I mentioned earlier, the issues I mentioned earlier, but the wages of the people kept going down.
Well, a lot of people, most people make above minimum wage though, right? Like even,
you know what?
Even McDonald's, I don't know about here.
That is at the discretion of the company, and that is still based on the minimum wage. They do a ratio, okay, of what they can pay people above the minimum wage to get what they think are the better workers. But we're talking about the majority of Americans.
Okay, well, where I live in Colorado, I mean, McDonald's pays several dollars more than minimum wage, just because you can get a job elsewhere for making more.
The point of that is, you said several dollars more.
Yeah.
Can those people, by that job alone, still pay their rent? Can they still pay their car note? Or should they?
Well, a lot of those are younger people or people in a family. So yeah, I mean, it depends.
Do you know that a third of McDonald's workers across the world are retired senior citizens?
Yeah, I don't know the demographics.
Well, I'm just letting you know that.
Right.
Okay, are retired senior citizens who can't support themselves on their pensions or on Social Security.
Okay.
All I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is this. Now, I don't know if it'd ever be $20 an hour or anything like that, but I'm saying the concept of America is that you should be able to pay your rent by the job you work.
But you would recognize that in America, right? I mean, it's relatively easy to get a decent paying job relative to.
No, it is not relatively easy to get a decent paying job.
Well, no,
I mean, with all due respect,
here's my point, right?
I think you're being somewhat antagonistic. It is not easy to get a decent paying job. Let me give you an example.
We have high unemployment now.
Fine, but let me give you an example of what I'm speaking about. If you get a job paying $25,000 a year, how much do you bring home?
After taxes?
Yes.
Oh, they're going to take 8, 9 off the top.
So you figure they're going to take 12%? With taxes, FICA and all that?
Right, yeah, they have the payroll tax.
Fine.
Sorry, yeah.
So let's figure, you get a job of $25,000 a year, you're going to bring home what, 19?
I mean, yeah, I don't know the exact figure, but somewhere.
Where can you live for that? I'm not against taxes, don't misunderstand me. Don't misunderstand me. I'm against the fact that a person can work 40 to 50 hours a week, okay? 40 to 50 hours a week and not be able to pay their rent.
Well, here's the concern, okay? If you raise the minimum wage, are you concerned that's going to just cut some people out of the job market altogether? Because
it's
employers
obvious what's going to happen if you raise the minimum wage with the way things are right now. If you raise the minimum wage, they're just going to continue to outsource jobs.
Okay. So what's your solution to that then?
Someone should have put that on this.
The solution to that is this. Is that individual states, and individual people have got to come together and increase their investment in the average person. They've got to come together and increase their investment, not to just open small mom and pop things, okay? But to open larger things that include some sort of manufacturing, okay? Manufacturing has always been the outlet to the average man, okay? The outlet to the average man, okay? I'm saying that this government has to begin to rebuild the manufacturing base in this country so that people can get jobs by which they can at least pay their rent.
Okay.
That's the key with me. That is the key with me. If you work 40 to 50 hours a week, you should be able, you have a right to be able to pay your rent out of what you make off your job. Okay? My next step would be to get landlords and rent prices under control. Do you know what they call affordable housing? They get away with this. They're building apartments in Harlem, and I'm all for that. Don't get me wrong. But and they say, well, 30% of the apartments here are affordable housing. Well, what they're saying is they're not $3,500 a month rent. They're $1,900 a month rent.
Well, it's expensive. I mean, I'm from Colorado, so it's not nearly that much.
But I'm saying, what job do you know paying minimum wage can the person afford to pay that kind of rent? He doesn't even make. They don't even make that much money off 2 paychecks a month.
Yeah, I understand.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Well, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.